I seek refuge with God from the accursed devil. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, blessings be upon Muhammad and his pure family. O God, send blessings upon Muhammad and upon his family, and for the sake of dawn. Emotional intelligence will give us many advantages in communication with others and in having influence over them. Today we are going to explain the advantages of emotional intelligence. The first advantage of emotional intelligence is when I can control and manage my emotions and feelings, which indeed helps me collaborate better with others. This means that since my emotions do not dominate my behaviors, and my emotions are not the ones deciding for me, my intellect then decides to collaborate better with others. Because there are always people in social relationships that we do not like, and that affects the way we collaborate with them. There are people that we like quite a lot, and that also affects the relationship we have with them. It may be that we hold resentment towards someone for a certain event, and that affects our ability to collaborate with that person. Hate and love are two tendencies that can lead us to fall into emotional behaviors, which means we cannot work well. For example, a boss who is in love with his secretary cannot think clearly, and this will prevent him from understanding the mistakes in his work. But when the boss can clearly control his emotions, he will see the faults and failures, then he can control the situation and manage the issue. On the contrary, a person who hates one of their employees, assistants, or co-workers will always take a negative stance towards that person, and thus will not be able to collaborate with them. It is clearly clear that a person with well-developed emotional intelligence can work much better with others compared to a person who always makes emotional decisions. Well, today we are going to tell you one by one the advantages of emotional intelligence in social relationships and in communication with others. First, it is collaboration and being able to have a healthy, active, and positive relationship with others. Why? When you feel good and understand well, you comprehend the situation and the emotional state of others. When you understand it well, then you can decide the best way to influence others. This means that since you understand that so-and-so is in a bad state, you now know how to start talking, how to begin alleviating their pain in order to gain that person's support and help. But a person who does not care about others, meaning they do not have well-developed emotional intelligence, does not care about how others are doing. So this person always fails in relationships and communication. One of the factors that truly helps you succeed in your relationship with others is knowing others. When we understand what the preferences of others are, what they prefer, love on one side, and what they hate, then we can better manage our audience, our friends, and our co-workers. When a person understands the purposes of others well, they can then understand and also manage others better. Because they already know the purposes, they can find common points between their own purposes and those of others, thus enabling collaboration with them. Another thing that is quite important is helping the growth of others or assisting in the development of others' personal abilities. A good boss, a good teacher, a good parent is someone who knows well the capabilities and skills of the people around them. This means they can help them develop in their studies, at work, in their thinking, in their beliefs, etc. When you become a person who has always helped others grow and develop, it is such a perfect and important character that after a while, others say, "Look, we all want to collaborate with this person. They are a good leader because they have helped me grow economically in my studies and experience and in this and in this and in this." Everyone else needs to feel that they are growing in their personal and professional lives. That growth is an important factor. The development of personality is so significant that everyone seeks to develop themselves as an important purpose in their life. For example, I entered this factory and had a bachelor's degree, and the boss helped me finish my studies at the university, pursuing a master's degree and then a doctorate. That boss, whenever I am analyzing, I say he is a very good boss, an ideal boss, because more than I have worked and gained something for my life, he has also helped me develop my personal skills. When a boss can help their employees, their subordinates to grow, when that boss has well-developed emotional intelligence, they not only think of their own benefits, but also believe that these people deserve to grow, that they deserve to develop, that they deserve the best. In this way, everyone loves them, and everyone is in service of this boss, this father, and anyone who helps us grow and develop. That person will be a perfect and beloved individual. One of the other thing and qualities that emotional intelligence will give us is to be a human being, to become a human being whose purpose is to serve others. Thousand looks when we talk about faith, we say that faith is believing in God and serving others, loving God, worshiping God, and serving others. Serving others is when a person has their purposes clearly defined and has set aside negative emotions such as ambition, egocentrism, selfishness, and other negative traits of a human being that prevent them from developing. When a person has been able to help themselves develop their emotional intelligence, that person understands that to succeed in the world, they need the collaboration of others. To achieve this, they will set aside egocentrism, selfishness, ambition, envy, and dishonesty. Why? Because he needs to trust others, and he seeks trust from others. Because he knows that to achieve his successes, the goals to succeed in his life, he needs collaboration from others. And that collaboration is not achieved without trust, nor without collaboration. That person is always thinking of how to help others, how to serve others, not about how to use others. Look, my dear brother, how many times have you felt so many times used? So, how do you feel about a person who is just using you for their own purposes? Whether it is your boss, your brother, your friend, your wife, or your husband, whoever it may be. When we feel that we are really being used, it will make us angry. We hate a person who uses us for their own purposes, without caring about what happens to us. So, a person who has well-developed emotional intelligence already knows that if I use others, they will eventually hate me. I will lose their collaboration, I will lose their help, and then I will lose my success. If I seek to be successful, I will strive to serve others in order to always have the help and support of those around me, thus achieving success in my work, in my community, and in my country. Well, one of the other important things, Adi, is influence. What does it mean? A person who has well-developed emotional intelligence can sense, or rather, foresee the situations that others are in or may be in, and therefore can make the best decisions to help and persuade them. Look, brother, many times we need to convince the people around us, friends, co-workers, employees to work with me. That conviction is achieved through emotional intelligence. If you can convey confidence to these people, if you can make them understand that what I decide is for their own good, that it serves their success, that it is in service of their benefits, that it is the most beneficial for them, then others will trust me and obey me. What many bosses seek and do not achieve, what many teachers seek and do not achieve, they say is that my students do not pay attention to me. What is the cause of disobedience? Lack of positive communication, lack of influence, lack of conviction. A person who already has well-developed emotional intelligence can convince others of their own purposes, and then everyone will help them achieve their success and their goals. Why? Why does everyone come to help him? Because he has conveyed that trust to everyone. If you collaborate with me, this will help you because I am not an egocentric person. I am someone who always thinks about how to serve you, how to help you. If we work in a company, it's not that I use you and then leave you behind. No, it's that we are like a body. If I am going to develop as the head of the company, as the head of the school, as a good teacher, I am also helping you so that you can develop your skills and you will earn more. So everyone is working for him with all their heart, helping him, serving him, and obeying him. Another important thing is that there is always, we can say, competition in a job, in a family, in a university where you find yourself. There is competition, which means there are people competing against each other, meaning they are rivals. In this struggle for power, which we can call political war, well, with more limited characteristics than the political wars among the politicians of the world, everyone is looking to gain power, seeking to take the position of others, striving to become a leader, to be obeyed, etc., etc. So that rivalry, that struggle, that competition always continues. A good leader who has well-developed emotional intelligence can understand what is happening among their students, how they are competing, how one is envying another, how one is hindering another, and how one is humiliating others. This understanding allows them to manage the relationships between them, manage the relationships among their children, and handle the situation within their family. All of this depends on how they interpret the relationships that exist among them. A person will accurately interpret when they have well-developed emotional intelligence, meaning they can understand how others feel and how emotions are affecting each of these individuals. So, we can develop all social skills through emotional intelligence. And another very important thing is how to react to each behavior. Many times we let natural reactions take over. If someone insults me, I get irritated. If they give me a gift, I feel happy. Look, those are the natural emotions. The natural reactions make you happy, take things away from you and make you angry. But a good manager, a good director, already knows how to manage their own emotions. It may be that they are giving you a gift, but you will interpret it differently. They say, look, that gift is a bribe, so I am not going to be happy about that gift. I will control my emotions. Of course, I like receiving gifts, but it is a bribe, and the bribe will have its own consequences in the future, causing my bosses to distrust me and my employees to distrust me, and the work will be destroyed. Because if I receive a bribe to prefer what is not preferable, to advance what should be delayed, to give preference to what is not truly worthwhile. It means I am destroying my professional work, whether I am a student, a teacher, an employee, a mayor, or whoever. So if that person, at the moment of receiving the bribe, has emotional intelligence, they can control their intellect and manage their emotions. I like receiving this car, but it is a bribe. If I receive this car by oppressing others, stealing, then someday I will be discovered, I will be exposed, and that day I will fall. So he says this consequence is not worth it. With that little car I have, I will settle, and I will not accept this bribe. Do you mean how exactly do you react in your communications? Are these reactions natural or intellectual? A person with developed emotional intelligence does not allow emotions to control their behavior. They analyze everything, think about the consequences, and then react. So this person, you can do a test. If you tickle them, that person will not react right away. A good manager, a good director, already knows how to handle their feelings. They do not react. They do not react instantly. No. That person will think, reflect, and make the most appropriate decision possible. You cannot provoke that person. A boss who gets provoked by the slightest thing, for example, your secretary wearing a miniskirt, and that provokes you, you're lost. You can't win. A student of yours is going to give you a gift. She gives you a smile, and the teacher invites you. To lose, it means your emotions are in control of you. That is the most dangerous thing for a director. It means they are playing with their professional work because of their emotions. It's like they are losing their job for nothing. Betting their life is a gamble. If a person does not know when and how to react and leaves everything to natural emotional reactions, that person is necessarily lost, because there are always women, there are always desires, there is always lust, there are always ambitions. If you do not fall today, you will fall tomorrow. Until when will you remove emotions from your decisions? It means that all decisions will be managed by intellect. Another important aspect of a good boss who has well-developed emotional intelligence is good communication. That person has 2 ears, 1 tongue, which means they should listen twice as much as they speak, and that person listens. If you see a person who is always talking blah, 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 that person is going to get lost. Why? Because if you do not listen to others, you cannot understand what situation they are in. If I cannot understand that my employee, my student, is not in a good mood, is sad, is hurt, then I cannot manage them. When I do not understand the topics as they are, I cannot handle them. A good boss listens double or triple or much more, and uses their words only when necessary. Many times, many employees come complaining, my wife comes complaining, I don't know, my relatives, this and that, who come complaining, do not seek solutions. They seek to vent. A boss, father, teacher, helps colleague, student, wife unload. Many times people just need to be heard, and that is the best solution for them, to simply listen to them. And listen actively, not indifferently. Active listening means you pay attention. You listen to it like that. Honestly, I didn't know. My God. So look at how you listen in a very active way, not indifferent. Oh, well, what? This doesn't matter. Look, when you speak in a, let's say, indifferent way, or listen in an indifferent way, that wouldn't help at all. When we talk about listening, which is an important trait of a good director, it means listening actively. This means accompanying the person who is speaking to you, paying attention, listening to them, and affirming the correct things they are saying. That's right. And not interrupting people. One of the characteristics of the esteemed Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was that he listened to everyone, to such an extent that his enemies, when they wanted to mock the Prophet, would say, "You are just an ear, you are like an ear, you only listen." And he spoke when I asked him, and did not interrupt others. Those characteristics of the Prophet of Islam made him the best leader who knew how to manage a society. Fallen into bad habits of ignorance, uplifting that society and leading it, we can say, to the pinnacle of science, ethics, and morality. That was the great miracle of good administration by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and no one can deny it because history is the best witness. There are other benefits of behavior management and additional benefits of having well-developed emotional intelligence, which we will discuss in the next class. May God bless you. Peace be upon you. I give my regards.